What I most like about the gym is that it actually makes a difference to people's lives. And when, there's been lots and lots of things that the gym has given me. I've been through, I suppose the first thing it gave me was popularity. Not that I wasn't terribly unpopular before, but this sort of magnified to people who I was. So then if you're doing that, what you have to do, obviously, is play by the rules and make sure you're an example to people. That's what I want to be. I want to be a role model, an example to the people who come up. Okay, so welcome to what I call my theatre dreams. There are two reasons I call it a theatre dreams. One is because I always dreamt about my own boxing club, and two, I think this is where lots of dreams are realised.
It's just a really cool place to come to. I mean, it's got a great community feel. There's lots of nice people here that are happy to get involved in terms of your life and talk to you and encourage you. And obviously, it's great for sport and fitness. So
I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday, unless I'm ill or away. To help the lads and lasses that train and just be there for them. It's more, as a coach, it's not just the boxing side of it. It's more the mental side as well. So you can do all the training you like, but you get there on the night and people, everyone reacts different to pressure. So it's more helping the boxers to bring them on and make sure that the learners to go along as well, so they don't get hurt. And just making sure that the welfare of the boxers looked after is my main role. I've been coming here now probably 4 years. I started off boxercisers, took them to the boxing classes, and then from the boxercise, I got involved with the boxing, and I got my assistant coaching badge in September. So the full coaching badge at the end of the year. So yeah, it's going good.
It can be imposing to some people when they first come in, maybe a bit intimidating. I think the hardest thing, what people tell me anyway, about coming here is just walking up the stairs. Once they're up the stairs, then they realise it's quite a welcoming place.
I think it helps so many people in different ways. You get a lot of people that come here that have not really had the best start or haven't got the best things happening in their life. And I've seen it with one who's not here tonight, but he'll tell you the same. His confidence was so low before he came, and since his confidence has risen. He's now working. He's able to hold a job. I think it's not just the boxing side of it that helps people. It's more like everybody here. It's not a gym. It's more like a family.
I call this spit and sawdust. When I was a kid, I went to a gym, and what I remembered most about the gym is that we had to spit in sawdust in sparring. I was only 10 years old and I was in Coventry. Now, where this first started was as a place for overweight men, because I lost both my parents early due to their lifestyle choices. So I thought, well, there's lots of places for women to go, as in Weight Watchers, Slimming World and everything like that, but there's nowhere really for overweight men to go. And I know that a lot of men are losing their lives early.
the gym does definitely, yeah. Because anybody can come in here and anybody can as
Well, there weren't even this place initially to start with. I opened a place on Wood Green. The place on Wood Green was a bit small and pokey. We can only use it twice a week. And they said if you got a place that they could use every day of the week, then they'd come along and they'd join me here. As it happened, they didn't. Okay, but what I did do, I turned it into a club for my box size classes and overweight classes, just to give people a chance to get fit. But what I quickly found was that schools and the children who came in wanted a boxing club. So the schools would send people to me who were going through difficulties at school. It could be anything from if they're overweight, whether they were being bullied, or whether they were just struggling with life generally. And a lot of the time it was the parents who were struggling more than the kids. So that this would be an outlet for their children to come along, and sometimes adults come along and just be away from their usual environment. So that's probably the biggest thing for most people. And very quickly it went from a place where people just came to get fit to a boxing club, because people, what I found was people asked me to start boxing, because all the exercise I knew was boxing training. I was doing boxercise classes, and on the back of boxercise class, everybody would come in, put some gloves on, I'd learn boxing. We had no boxing as such at the time, and it was only this room. But as it expanded, I decided to call my old trainer Ken round and ask him if he'd like to join in with me and start a boxing club, and he did. And that was the start of the boxing club. And that was really the start of when people with issues came along. So, because people started coming into the boxing club and getting registered to box, and then people were recognising that they were actually gaining from boxing, like the school teachers. They were doing better, not only in their sports events, but also the academic events, because they had more confidence.
Oh, I mean, Dave does loads of stuff. I mean, he works with children, he works with disabled people, people with special needs, obviously puts on shows. It's great for, kids who don't necessarily come from a great background to come in here and have a bit of discipline and a bit of focus, so that's good.
One more, fast, go! Boom, boom, dip, dip, boom, boom. Okay, well done. If I had more money, I'd just improve it. We've got the changing facilities would be better. So just make it more comfortable. I wouldn't want to change. I like the ethos, what we've got. I think it is rough and ready, and I think it reflects who I am. And I think to make it too much like another gym, I can't compete at their level anyway. But also the demographics different. What I'm aiming at. I'm aiming at people. Really, a lot of the people who come here so they feel comfortable, rather than being in one of those gyms where everybody's in the latest gear. Okay, so it's just I wouldn't change money. The only way I'd use money is to actually improve the facilities, as in have more stuff that people use, so less stuff would be broken.
Doesn't it? I mean, it's a cool place to come to a space where you can use more equipment, new equipment. I mean, it's got an abundance of people willing to help it. I mean, that's not its problem. It's say money, organisation, time, the usual issues that places like this have.
Improved? There's not really much to improve on. I mean, it's a little bit tidy, I suppose, but that's everyone's doing. Everyone actually helps clear up now and then.
Well, obviously there's a few things that need to be done. Obviously, like the upkeep of the gym, things like that, and hopefully if we can obtain some funding, through charities, things like that, and it is something that's happening behind the scenes at the moment that's being looked at, and hopefully that will come through. If that comes through, and the gym can have the lift that it needs. Definitely we need a bit of, it does need a bit of help. We need, to keep things, to just bring things back up a bit to speed.
The only thing I probably struggle is, if you look around the room, is finance. I mean, I've got a window over the back there, which is a plastic bag. I've got a window up here, which is a cardboard box. I've got a window over here, which is a tablecloth. So when it rains, through the ceiling, the rain comes in, and it's not very warm in the winter. So there's lots of things I would change about this, but it's ever so easy to talk about what's wrong with the gym, but for what it's done for me, not only the people here, what it's done for me, it's raised my sort of self-awareness, and it's made me grow as a person myself, as well as the people that come in. Because every time you help somebody, it doesn't matter for what reason, every time you help somebody, you feel that much better about yourself for doing it. So it's sort of a little bit on a, I won't say it's selfish, but it's for me as well as much as it is for the people I help. So this is a place where people try and hide. They go in here, so I've got to follow the people in here and make sure they do some work. This is where all the bad habits can be picked up, and this is where people do their own thing. So what I tend to do is let people know that they've got to do everything properly. So I make sure their hands are up and their feet are right and everything else. Every bag in here has got a different purpose. This bag here is for your Mike Tyson type fighter who will come in and throw shots around here. It's all about skill and movement and accuracy. This is a heavy bag which will build testosterone, make your muscles big, so you throw less punches on this but much harder punches. This is another skill bag where you can throw different angle punches, so you can throw screw shots and uppercuts on this bag. That's your regular bag, and again that's another one where you can throw different angles over here. Wall bags like these are for judging distance, so you get to judge your distance here rather than punching like this. Okay, same as this bag here. Okay. When I first came here, that's a shower in the corner. Somebody used to live here, and I had to wait for him to leave before I could take over the room. So that was that. Downstairs we've got what we call the dungeon, okay? And we've got some rings on the wall so we can tie all the people up. No, I don't. We used to tie horses. They used to tie 200 years ago. They tied horses onto them because it used to be a stables. I think what people tell me, I can only go what people say, and people say they come here for me. I think I like to, people feel they can talk to me. So if people come here and they've got an issue, we can sit down on the apron of the ring and have a talk about their issues. And most of the things in our class run here, so most of it is like a community feel. So we all go out drinking together, and we have, like I'm getting married soon. A lot of the people who come to the gym will be coming to my wedding. So I feel like we're one big family rather than just people who turn up. Because I've been to other gyms where people would be on a running machine with a pair of headphones on and talk to nobody and leave the gym. Whereas in here, we're just more of a family, so we all sort of get on with each other. So I think that's probably the biggest difference. We're just like one big family. At least that's what I like to think. You have to ask the members and see what they thought, but I'm pretty sure they'd be in agreement. What I like about the gym is that it actually makes a difference to people's lives. And when, there's been lots and lots of things that the gym has given me. I've been through, I suppose the first thing it gave me was popularity. Not that I wasn't terribly unpopular before, but this sort of magnified to people who I was. So then if you're doing that, what you have to do, obviously, is play by the rules and make sure you're an example to people. That's what I want to be. I want to be a role model, an example to the people who come up. And because I must have done that quite well, is the Banbury Town Council, they asked me if I would be a town councillor. And to me, the reason they'd done that, because they would have gained votes from me being a councillor. Okay, so look, because my popularity, at least that's what I figured anyway. And from being a town councillor, I got to meet the Queen, which was and Prince Philip at the town hall, which is obviously quite a big thing for a lot of people. At the time, I didn't think it was a great thing, but once I did meet it, I did feel quite good about it. I had a little chat with Prince Philip as well. That was at the town hall in Banbury. It also got me to carry the Olympic torch in 2012. I think I got voted for by Slips. I don't know how many people voted, but I know it was enough to get me to carry the Olympic torch in Wallingford. So that was a massive moment in my life. So there's lots and lots of huge things that this has given to me as well as other people. So I think people see Spit & Sawdust as a community gym as much as they do as a place to come and get fit and do some boxing. But as far as boxing goes, we haven't done too bad. We've had one lad, Rob Evans, who had not the best of upbringings, and he managed to win 3 national titles and then go on to be a supermodel. And for Calvin Klein, he appeared on telly presenting awards to people like Sam Smith, so which is quite an achievement for a lad from a village who had no prospects really. So there's been lots of success stories. A guy called Razwan Hussein, who won a British title at the back end of last year, 2014. So, and every time somebody wins, obviously that's a win for me. So if I see, and it doesn't have to be boxing, but generally if somebody wins a British title, that's me gaining another British title without actually having to be punched. Most of the boys that come here don't box. Most of the boys come up here with the idea that they might box and don't end up boxing. But what it does do, I think I'm quite a tough taskmaster. So what it does do is instill a bit of discipline that maybe they're lacking at home. So I'm not saying that I'm a substitute for a parent, but it's just an additional help for a parent. There's loads, but if it was ideally, there's a big car park out the back, and if I had money, I'd have the gym twice the size going that way, and then I'd have more stuff going on. I'd like to do more stuff with youths, as in talks, and I'd like to have a place where we could sit down and have presentations, and just trying to help different people with different issues, not just the sports side of it.
I mean, hopefully.
But I think my biggest problem is I don't ask for help. It's ever so easy for me to criticise people, and I used to in the past, but unless you ask for something, you don't get. And I've looked at another club that started in Banbury, a boxing club, and they do ask, and they have got people in charge of the funding side of the business, so they'll go out and get sponsors, and that's what I need to do more. And I realise it now. I suppose what I've always thought in the past, I like the idea of being independent, but I've realised over the 11 years I've been here that being independent doesn't work, and nobody's an island, we all need a bit of help, so probably that's what I've got to do more of in the future.